My journey began with a single word whispered on the wind: Kyrgyzstan. It was a name that seemed to drift in from another world, mysterious and evocative, stirring something deep within me. I remember the first time I heard it, how it lingered in my mind, promising adventure and discovery. It was a name that felt like a secret, a place far from the well-trodden paths of global tourism. The more I read, the more I realized how little the world knew about this land of sweeping valleys and silent, snow-capped peaks. I knew little about it, which is exactly why I had to go. Curiosity became a calling, and the unknown transformed into an irresistible invitation. The fragments I found spoke of celestial mountains, the Tian Shan, and a resilient nomadic culture. Stories of ancient horsemen, of yurt-dotted pastures, and of a people whose lives were shaped by the rhythm of the land. The thrill of the unknown pulled me in. I longed to walk those empty trails, to breathe the crisp mountain air, and to lose myself in landscapes untouched by time. I imagined vast landscapes, endless stars, and a culture shaped by centuries of change. The thought of sleeping beneath a sky ablaze with constellations, far from city lights, filled me with anticipation. Preparation meant learning a few Kyrgyz words, studying Silk Road routes, and packing for every weather. I pored over maps, tracing ancient trade paths, and wondered what stories the mountains would tell me. I felt like an explorer, charting a course into the ancient and the new. Each step of planning was a step closer to a world both unfamiliar and inviting. As the plane descended into Bishkek, the first glimpse of the mountains was breathtaking, jagged, snow-capped, and wild. The landscape below promised adventure, and my heart raced with excitement. Landing felt like stepping into another era. Soviet blocks, green parks, and a city finding its identity. The blend of old and new was everywhere, in the architecture, the faces, and the energy of the streets. The people's warmth was immediate and genuine. Smiles and greetings bridged the gap between stranger and friend, making me feel welcome from the very first moment. I wasn't just a tourist, I was a guest. Invited to share meals, stories, and laughter, I was welcomed into homes and traditions that had endured for generations. The adventure I'd dreamed of was unfolding, more vibrant and welcoming than I'd imagined. Every day brought new colors, sounds, and connections, weaving me into the fabric of Kyrgyz life. The journey had truly begun before my feet even touched the ground. The anticipation, the wonder, and the promise of discovery were already changing me. Kyrgyzstan was already changing me, opening my eyes to a world both ancient and alive, and reminding me that sometimes the greatest adventures begin with a single, whispered word. Leaving the city was like turning a page. Kyrgyzstan's landscapes are epic, painted by giants, with sweeping strokes of green and blue. We drove for hours, passing velvet hills, turquoise rivers, and deep canyons. In small villages, life moved slowly. Children greeted us with laughter, and we were welcomed for tea. Hospitality here is genuine. A guest is a gift from God. At Song-Kul Lake, over 3,000 meters high, we slept in yurts among nomads. Nights were cold, but the Milky Way blazed above. Horses are companions and symbols of freedom. We rode across the Jelu with our guide, Aslan. He spoke of the land with love, sharing stories and pointing out herbs. Life here is hard, but it's also beautiful and free, deeply connected to nature. The experience was unforgettable. Food in Kyrgyzstan is a celebration of community and heritage. We shared beshbarmak, lamb, noodles and broth, eaten by hand, connecting us to tradition. Tea was everywhere, served in small bowls with homemade bread or borsak. We tried kumys, fermented mare's milk, an acquired taste, but vital for nomads. Watching our host milk, his mare was a lesson in self-sufficiency. We witnessed eagle hunting, a breathtaking bond between hunter and golden eagle. Traditions here are alive, not relics, woven into daily life. Women crafted sherdaks, felt carpets telling stories in their patterns. Men played ordo, a game of skill and laughter. Every moment revealed a community bound by history, support, and love for their land. It was a privilege to be part of it, even briefly. The journey was enchanting, the landscape breathtaking, and the mountains seemed to hold centuries of stories in their silent embrace. But travel, I soon learned, reveals the whole picture, both the beauty and the pain that often goes unseen. In a market near the Kazakh border I met Alina, a young woman whose bright smile barely concealed the sadness in her eyes. She moved through the crowd with quiet grace, but there was a heaviness in her presence that drew me in. Our conversation, which began with small talk about apricots and family, soon turned serious. Alina shared her story. She was a victim of alakachu, the practice of bride kidnapping that still haunts many women in Kyrgyzstan. She'd been forced into a stranger's home, pressured relentlessly to marry for her family's honor. The walls of that house became her prison, and her voice was silenced by tradition. Her dreams of teaching, of shaping young minds and building a future of her own, were stolen in a matter of minutes. Now, she loved her child deeply, but she mourned the life she lost, the ambitions, the freedom, the simple joys she once imagined. Her quiet dignity was striking, her heartbreak palpable in every word she spoke. She carried her pain with a strength that was both inspiring and heartbreaking. Behind the beauty of the mountains and the warmth of Kyrgyz hospitality, there is hidden suffering, stories like Alina's that rarely reach the outside world. The tradition persists in rural areas, quietly violating basic human rights and shaping the destinies of countless women. Listening to Alina, the vibrant market faded away. All I could see was her pain, her resilience, and the silent plea in her eyes for change. It was a brutal reminder that every place, no matter how beautiful, has its shadows, stories that linger in the quiet corners. Kyrgyzstan's story is not just one of breathtaking landscapes, but also of struggle, resilience, and the hope for a better future. The encounter changed how I saw everything around me. It made me realize that every journey is layered with stories, some joyful, others deeply painful. Travel isn't just about landscapes or adventure, it's about understanding people's realities, listening to their stories, and carrying them with us. Alina's story stayed with me, echoing in my thoughts long after I left the market. It was a lesson I couldn't ignore, a reminder that the true heart of a place is found in the lives of its people, and in the courage it takes to share their truth. After meeting Alina, a heavy silence fell over our team. The air felt thick, as if the weight of her story pressed down on us, making every word seem unnecessary. We sat together, each lost in our own thoughts, trying to process what we had just heard. The mountains felt less majestic, more like silent witnesses to untold stories. Their peaks, once symbols of adventure, now seemed to hold secrets and sorrows, echoing the struggles of the people who live beneath them. My image of Kyrgyzstan grew more complex. The land's beauty was still there, but it was now layered with a sense of gravity and history I hadn't noticed before. Beauty and kindness remained, but my understanding deepened. I saw warmth in the people's eyes, but also resilience, a quiet strength shaped by generations of hardship. A country is a tapestry of light and shadow, joy and pain. The vibrant festivals and laughter coexist with moments of solitude and struggle, woven together in everyday life. To see only beauty is to see an incomplete picture. True understanding comes from acknowledging both the sunlight and the shadows that shape a place and its people. The practice of bride kidnapping is condemned by many, but persists in some areas. It's a painful reality that challenges the image of untouched tradition and simple rural life. Community bonds can be both strength and pressure. They offer support and belonging, but can also enforce silence or conformity, making change difficult. My feelings for Kyrgyzstan became more real, no longer a simple paradise, but a place of challenges and resilience. I found myself reflecting on my own assumptions, questioning what it means to truly know a place. The vast spaces now symbolize both freedom and isolation. The openness of the land mirrored the complexity of the stories it holds, stories of hope, endurance, and sometimes sorrow. This new awareness made my connection to the country deeper and more authentic. I felt gratitude for the hospitality, but also a responsibility to listen and learn. Kyrgyzstan was no longer just a destination. It was a place of real people and real stories, each one adding depth and meaning to the journey. Leaving Kyrgyzstan was hard, my heart heavy with what I'd learned. The country gave me unforgettable beauty and hospitality, but also Alina's story of stolen dreams. As travelers, we must look beyond the surface and listen with empathy. True travel connects us to others' realities, not just our own escapes. My love for Kyrgyzstan matured, it became more compassionate. I now see both the mountains and the strength of people like Alina. Empathy is the most important thing you can pack. My encounter didn't make me an expert, but it made me want to learn more. Kyrgyzstan is a land of beauty and challenge, ancient traditions and modern hopes. What began as a quest for adventure became a lesson in humanity. My journey through Kyrgyzstan has ended, but its impact will last. Travel is a powerful tool for building compassion and understanding. When we step out of our comfort zones, we see how similar we all are. It's not about collecting stamps, but stories and perspectives. Every person and place has a lesson to offer. Travel with an open heart and mind, listen more than you speak. This is how we break down barriers and build bridges. My experience in Kyrgyzstan made me more curious and engaged. Behind every headline, there are real people with stories worth hearing. So, go. See the world, near or far, with kindness and empathy. Let your journeys change you. If this story moved you, I hope you'll keep exploring with me. Together, we can make the world better, one story at a time.